Okay.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to Inclusion Done Right, number
13.
You're the only one that keeps track.
I know, because we just posted number 11 today with Ethan, and that is the first part of his
amazing
interview. And then next week, I feel kind of sad. I'm thinking maybe eventually we'll need to do a lot of interviews and then post them Tuesday, Thursday.
Oh, so doing it twice.
So we do two a week, but right now we're not quite at that point.
We're not ready for that yet.
So, and Kaya is licking my feet right now.
Kaya, can you stop, please? Thank you, Mommy.
Them taste so good.
Thank you. I know.
She's like, I love you.
She's a therapy dog.
She is a therapy dog, and it does.
Therapy.
It is good. It is good.
So we have guests here today?
Yes, we do. It's so good. They're two of my favorite people in the whole world.
Yay!
Yay!
So tell us about yourself, Mrs. Torp. Who are you?
Let's introduce them. This is Mrs. Torp, and she is Ben's teacher.
Yep.
And this is Mrs. Hay, and she is Jillian's teacher.
So first grade and fifth grade teachers.
Yes.
Of course, here at Coyote Springs.
And Miss Hay also had Joe last year, so we're getting to be good friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully
good.
I'll have Ben too.
Yeah.
He's coming. By the time he gets to you,
Joe
he's
with
ready
twist.
for student council president.
Yeah.
Working that, right?
Totally.
Yes.
He will,
Yeah.
actually. He already comes in our room. The kids love him. He's very popular. So he's very loved.
He will be running the school.
I
keep telling Cindy, I will be able to sit back, have a,
See, one day we're going to have to interview Ben and Jillian.
Yeah.
And that will be interesting. It'll be interesting. So it'll be fun.
So different personalities.
Yeah.
So different.
Yeah, very different. So with that said, so tell us, Mrs. Torp, how long you've been teaching, your family, that kind of stuff.
I've been teaching. This is my 5th year.
Okay.
So I kind of came into it a little late in life. I love it. I have 2 teenage boys, one about to graduate high school, so I'm kind of dealing with those emotions. Just lots of sports and that sort of thing with the boys, and this is my other passion.
But Mrs. Torp also, don't let her fool you, like she was around Coyote Springs forever. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if you know how many years.
I really don't. 2005 was when I started.
Yep.
Wow.
Her kids came here, and then she worked here as an aide, and then went through school, and now is a very successful teacher.
Yeah.
So it's a cool story.
Yeah.
And then there's Mrs. Hay.
So this is actually only my 2nd year of teaching. I've worked with kids for as long as I can remember. I was at juvenile probation for 12 years, and both of my kids went to school here, and this was it for me. I had to work here. I know what a great school this is, and I wanted to be here, and I love this school. I love the kids, and the experience has been just phenomenal.
So good.
Love
And
it
again, with Rachel, you would never in a million years guess that she hasn't been teaching for umpteen years, because she is.
So you've had a Schultz
awesome
your entire teaching career.
Yes, exactly. I have. Yes.
Next year you don't get one. I'm sorry. We'll still let Ben come and visit, though, right?
Yes.
That's so funny. That's good. Good.
It is good.
So tell us, Mrs. Torp, what is it that you enjoy most about teaching, especially when it comes to the inclusionary practices with our students here?
Oh
at
my
Coyote
goodness,
Springs?
I love so much of it, but I really love the community that forms in a classroom with everybody. And so, it's really fun to watch how when the year progresses, by the end, by middle, we're just a big family and everybody looks out for each other. And then I'm so lucky to teach 1st grade, where they grow so much academically and social emotionally. So it's so fun to see that growth, and it's the best part of the job by far.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about you, Rachel?
Oh, wow. Well, ditto everything that you just said, because the community is just phenomenal, and the kids really look out for one another.
Mm-hmm.
And they really do become a family in our classroom, and it's great to see, like you said too, that growth from the beginning of the year to now, and just see how that independence that the kids have, and how much they've changed and grown.
Yeah, I agree. It's super cool to be able to see. And like from my experience, to be able to see them from kindergarten all the way through until 6th grade. Like I know like this 6th grade group is only in my second graduating 6th grade group since I've been here. But they are like, I mean, the ones that have gone from kindergarten.
Oh, I was like,
Let me
gotcha.
Thank you for clarifying that. Great track
Candice,
record.
your math is a little bit off. From kindergarten all the way through to 6th grade.
So yeah.
And yeah, to see them, you know, where they were and now where they're leaving, and they are so independent, and our kids just show. And I think a lot of it, like you said, comes down to the community of who we are as educators and what it is we expect and what it is that we teach. They leave here with so much independence and so much confidence that they could go anywhere and they're going to be successful.
Absolutely.
Which
I mean, it's sad to see them go.
Yes, yeah.
But on the other hand, it's happy too. You know,
it
see
is.
that you know they're going to do so well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so sweet.
Isn't it?
So good. So, just because we are just now posting the Ethan interview, Ethan Knickerbocker, and so have you?
Yeah,
I know that Ethan's. Has he been in your class too?
Yeah,
I know he's been. And so, how have the kids been
Yeah.
responding to Ethan? I'm just curious.
Oh, they love him. They love him. He came, Read Across America Week is when we were first introduced to him, and just fascinated by him. But now it's, you know, he comes in and he has a job to do, and they all want to work with him. So yeah, very cool.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fun to see, you know, the kids see the differences in people, but see that they're just like we are, and that they can do everything we can do too. So.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
think
cool.
that's so important of exposing. We've talked about this before about our kids here at Coyote Springs getting exposed to such a diverse population that it's just it's natural.
Yeah,
It is.
You know,
It-
they don't see anything as a disability.
Right, exactly.
They just see it as, oh, cool. Like, what is it that we can do?
What's
And
on your
what-
cart? What
Yeah,
are you doing?
yeah.
You know, or what's nice about Ethan, back to Ethan again, was it was okay to ask questions. You know, something that you and I were talking about earlier is, you know, before I think they thought, oh, it'd be bad if I asked a question, but they're like, oh, it's okay, and it's okay because everybody, they celebrate their differences too. Every child in my classroom is different from one another, you know, and that's okay, you know, and it's beautiful, and they know that. That's what makes us all so unique, and you know, as people,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So when it comes to like Jillian, you were just telling me before we started filming that you had a student interested in the book that I shared with you, and how did that affect you? As
it was so nice because you had come in our classroom and it sparked an interest, and you know, he wanted to know more about really what Down syndrome was about. You know, you had introduced and you had talked about differences, but the same, because we're all, you know, and he was so interested, and he took the book and he just returned to me, read the entire thing, you know, so I was like,
okay, that makes me
Wow.
Thank you, sharing Down syndrome, for donating those books. It's making a difference.
And so I said, why don't we take that and why don't we do that as a class?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm
we need
excited to
tissues.
see that. Yeah. I'm like, ah.
I'm going to cry too.
But that's what, you know, these inclusionary practices with this diversity bring is the curiosity.
Right.
And then the more that the kids can interact and learn about it, the less likely they're going to fear it when they encounter it, you know, in their future as an adult. They're going to be able to be that person like Ethan talks about that's like, hey, you know, can I help you? Or how are you? That's not afraid of
And I love that you
interacting.
said that too, because that was something that Cindy had talked about. Like, go up and say hi to someone that you see. It's okay.
It's okay.
You know,
Yeah.
Don't pretend like someone's not there.
Right,
You
right.
know?
Don't be afraid. It makes the situation way more uncomfortable.
Right,
way more uncomfortable. And you know, and educate your parents. Honestly, the kids end up educating the parents when they're embracing. And we've talked about this too, is that the parents weren't raised in an inclusionary world. So I, as a parent of children with special needs, need to show them some grace and help educate those parents. And that's one reason we're getting ready to throw Ben's birthday party, and I'm kind of hoping some parents, you know, come and stick around and stuff, and because I want them to get to know Ben and Jillian and our family and the other people with Down syndrome, because there'll be more at our house, and so it's going to be cool. So what kind of effect does Ben have on your class?
Why is that a question?
Wait, what time is it? Okay.
I'm going to say he's sunshine. He just has this personality that you can't ignore. I was just telling Cindy today, he walked in on Monday to his little friend and he said, "Hi, Olive, I missed you last night," and just said it as clear as day. She tells him she loves him every time she leaves. He just lights up the room. He truly lights up the room. And, we went, when he started at the beginning of the year, I didn't notice anybody scared or uncomfortable.
Right.
And I've had a lot of new students just, and I'll be honest, I don't think to tell them on their first day of school, this is Ben, and this, I don't.
And that's good.
And they don't notice anything.
Yeah.
And so, they all want to work with him. They all want to be his friend. They all want him to be right next to him. So he just brings sunshine and joy to the class. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. You know?
Well, and Ben really doesn't know a stranger.
No, not at all.
That's
No.
the thing. I mean, that is not. You want to talk about
scary
extroverts?
for me. It's a little scary.
Yeah.
I've watched him up front. Like there'll be people waiting to pick up their kids, and he's coming over to them.
Yep.
And before long, it's like, "Bye, Ben. See you later." I mean, everyone knows who Ben
Yeah.
is. I mean,
Yeah.
he does not. He's just a cool kid.
He really is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he comes running in my classroom, jumps into my fuzzy chair, hands a kid a book and goes, "Here,
Read
here
to
you
me."
go, read
Yeah,
to me,"
yeah.
and they're like, "I want to read it," so it becomes like the fight over Ben, Yeah, he's...
That's funny.
He's just pulls at your heart. Too.
He is
just
a hoot. He is a crazy kid. And then Jillian is totally different. And so like the same question to you.
Opposites,
So
yeah.
how do you see Jillian in the class, and what is
She's just a natural part of our class. I think she was in with a lot of the kids last year in fourth grade. And so and when I said they all look out for each other, they look out for Jillian. They make sure that she's okay and everybody's watching out for her, and they just love her, and she loves being a part of our class. There were a few days where she wasn't with us when we were testing, and she was very upset. She wanted to come back to class, and so she wants to be there. They want her there, she wants to be there. So again, that family, and when she was gone, they wanted to know where she was at,
Yeah, building that empathy,
Right.
which is so important. And then I have a question for you too, Rachel. What, from the beginning of this year, what have you seen as some major growth happening with Jillian? I mean, I'm not even necessarily talking skill set or academics.
Socially, and the one thing I've seen her do, she's using her voice more, and that's something at the beginning of the year. I'd ask her a question and she'd be like, "I don't know." That was always her go-to response. "I don't know." But now she's answering and using her voice, and I really like that. And she's a part of like our group discussions or any kind of group activity that we do, and she's doing everything everybody else is doing in the classroom.
Yeah, I have to say that I personally have seen such significant growth in her this year. From, like you said, walking in the halls with her head down, not making eye contact or talking with anyone. Now she's standing up tall. She's looking at you. She's using her voice. I was watching her in the Habitat the other day, and I walked in the room and I honestly could not figure out where she was, because she was integrating within the classroom just like everyone
Just
was.
like everybody.
And she
That's how
didn't
it
even
should be.
necessarily have, I know she's got one of her closest friends with her. They weren't even working together.
Yeah.
They were,
that's another difference too, is because she was kind of stuck with one friend, and now she's branched out and she's making friends, and
it's significant. I have seen significant impact this year. So kudos for everything that you're doing to create that
it's all her.
environment.
It's all her.
It's not just
It takes
her.
a village.
It does take a village, and it does take. I think you guys need credit. You guys need to take credit, because I know my kids. You guys weren't. You didn't go to school to teach my child with Down syndrome. Okay, you didn't have that, and for you guys to take on my kids, and we really need a box of tissues here, but that's okay. For you guys to embrace embrace them and to take them on, because they are a little bit more of a challenge, maybe a different challenge, because I think all kids have their own challenges.
Every student I have is a challenge in
Yeah,
their own way.
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, but it's like a new challenge, and taking that on and being
it was
willing.
the unknown.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that's something like you just hit on. Like, you go to school and they teach about, accommodations, modifications, certain disabilities, but it's so broad that it doesn't really narrow down to specific needs.
Yeah.
And so I don't know about you, like, I started out the beginning of the school year, and I wanted to know, okay, well, what should I be doing? What can I do? And we set up that meeting so we could talk, and talking to Sam, and just kind of figuring out, okay, is she doing everything that we're doing? How far can I push her? Because, I always like to challenge every student I have, and you said go for it. Yep.
But I think that brings up a critical point that we've talked about before, is that the communication is so important, so that trust is there between parent, between school, between student, and between teacher, that those conversations can take place.
Right.
Because it's when they don't take place that we have difficulties meeting the needs of the kids, because if parents, sometimes we get pitted against each other, and that does not benefit the child in any way,
doesn't.
shape,
And
or
also,
form.
as a parent, I know of one of the parent things to do is you want to go talk to the other people, people outside of the situation, your friends and all that kind of stuff, and that doesn't do any good. It just builds and snowballs that situation, and the best thing to do is to come and talk to, first of all, the teacher,
Absolutely.
and then if you can't get anywhere, then you go higher up. But I have never had to do that. So,
but those are good. Those are good points to communicate, because it's not always the perfect fit.
Right.
And so to know that communication piece is so important between parent and teacher.
And as a teacher, I want to know if there's something, okay, if I did something wrong, or if there's something that we can work on to do even better. Let's communicate, and I want to do my very best for every student that I have. So I appreciate that communication. It goes both ways.
yeah.